Einstein. We all wonder what his life was like. But before we get into that, why did I choose him? I chose him because I'm always inspired by him, how he kept on going when life got tough. Now into the backstory. March 14th, 1879, in the city of Ulm, Germany, he was the first child born to a Jewish family, and his parents were, don't judge me if I pronounce anything wrong, Hermann and Helene Einstein. He had a normal childhood, but he learned to speak and read at a late age. His sister Maria was born on November 18, 1881. In 1884, he had a private education to get ready for school. In 1885, he started playing the violin. He received a primary education at a Catholic school in, don't judge me if I pronounce this wrong, Munich, but he went to a Luitpold Gymnasium in 1888 in the same city. He didn't like his school, so he left and joined his family in Italy, where they had settled meanwhile. He wanted to get into the school Polytechnic School, later renamed ETH. He applied and he did the entry exam in 1895. Let me just tell you, he didn't get in, and instead he went to a different school to get more knowledge. He tried again, persist, and he got in. In 1896, he got a school-leaving certificate to finally join his family in Italy. He already had a German citizenship, so he applied for one for Swiss, and which he got in 1901. He started looking for a job. He worked as a teacher in Winterthur and Swahasa. Afterwards, he moved to the Swiss capital. In January 1902, Lucia, daughter of Einstein and Olivia Merrick, a former fellow student, was born in Hungary. At the end of 1902, Einstein's father died in Milan. There is a lot of other stuff to cover, but to put it short, he gets his first son and gets a job at a patent office. But let's skip to 1905, a big year for him. He made 4 papers, all getting a lot of attention. I will not go into those papers, so you can just Google it yourself on Bing. Well, after that, his life took off. In 1921, he won a Nobel Prize in physics. His papers also led to one of the most famous equations, maybe the most, E = mc squared. Sadly, his happiness didn't last too long. In 1914, he divorced his wife. After 1917, Einstein started to get sick. Throughout this time, he was under the loving care of his cousin Elsa Leuwenthal. They fell in love with each other, and on June 2nd, 1919, he married Elsa, who already had 2 daughters, Ilse and Margit, from her first marriage. The couple moved to Haberlandsters in Berlin. He started to get famous once his papers were proven correct. His mother died in 1920. He was a pacifist, joining many groups to help keep peace. Germany was changing quickly. The Nazis became the biggest party in the country, and a couple months later, Hitler had supreme power. After working so hard, Einstein suffered from a heart disease which took him a year to recover. He later moved to the U.S. and got a job at the Institute of Advanced Studies in Princeton, New Jersey. His wife, which is his cousin, dies in 1935. Einstein, horrified by the thought of Germany having the atomic bomb, so he wrote a letter to the president explaining how they were at risk. The president agreed, so him and a bunch of other scientists worked on making the first atomic bomb. He got really sick. Because of his illness, Albert Einstein died at the age of 76 at 11:15 a.m. on April 18, 1955. Science had lost one of its foremost thinkers, and the world had lost a fighter for peace and freedom. Now that we finished his backstory, let's get into his journey to success and traits. Push. Einstein really tried to do more than he already did. It took him 20 years until he could finally prove his theory, which you can Google to find out what it is. Life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving, is a famous quote of Einstein about this matter. Work. Einstein worked very hard on his theories and papers. Sometimes he would stay up to 3 days without sleep at his office trying to solve a problem. He would forget about everything from his life, including his wife, except for the problem at hand. Serve. Einstein was a famous professor at Princeton University. He helped college students become successful and learn about what he spent his whole life working on. Focus. Einstein's mind was only focused on physics and math. He didn't have many other hobbies other than playing the violin. His whole life was based off of physics and math and the problems at hand. He was so focused on his work that he almost forgot about his wife and children. His wife got mad and filed a divorce. Passion. Albert Einstein didn't have a big passion for most of his life until he was working at a patent office where he got inspired from all the inventions having to do with physics. He saw many patents related to physics and got passionate about the topic. He also at a young age was curious about compasses. He would play with them and wonder how it worked. Ideas. Einstein came up with many ideas that would shatter the science that everyone knew at the time. He also helped make the atomic bomb, like I said, in the bio, and helped discover a new state of matter, the Bose-Einstein condensate. What can I relate to? I can mostly relate to the trade of ideas because I'm always thinking of new ways to innovate things and how I can do things in different ways. I'm also really creative. What I can't relate to probably focus because it's very hard for me to focus on anything I'm not personally into. The end. Thanks for watching. Credits to Alex and this website. I'll put the URL right now, and for helping me with the research.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.